Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Sensitive/offensive content disclaimer. Please note that this podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Good evening, everybody. Let me turn the music down. How is everybody tonight? I thought I turned our music down. What's going on? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the R.I.F.T Nation Network. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Rumble, and Kick. All of the above. So please don't forget to hit the like button, share, and come on in. Welcome to I almost said Monday. I've been weird. It's been a weird energy day all day, nonstop. Weird energy. I don't know what's going on. Well, Mercury's getting ready to go into retrograde, so I'll blame it on that. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty calm out there in the planet world, in the astrological world. Hello, Miss Rue Lee. Kathy, Miss Michelle, how is everybody tonight? Miss Linda, how are you? Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you had a great couple of days off visiting the grandbabies. How's everybody doing? Put in the chat how y'all are doing. Hello, Miss Tam. Where is Miss Tam? How's Miss Tammy been? Where's she been? Kath? I'll just wait and let you guys answer. I hope everybody's doing well tonight, getting ready to hit into August. We're almost in August, one more day. Summer is flying by. And Michelle and I were just talking. The kids will be getting ready to go back to school already. It's almost going to be fall. And I'm going to be whining about the cold weather, colder weather. I'm great. I'm doing great. I'm good. Had an amazing visit. How are you? There's nothing like seeing the little ones. Nothing like the grandbabies. Has anybody else been feeling weird energy too? I know that when what's kind of neat about astrology, and when you study astrology, and I know a lot of you do you ever get asked, people ask you what's going on? Because it comes like in shifts and in waves. Like right now, everybody's tired. They're very, very tired. And they're like, what is going on up in the planets? What are the planets doing? Why am I so tired? And I'm groggy and there's a lot of swirling going on. A very weird energy. Lee said that too. I actually, after we go through Chelsea's case, I want to show you guys what's ahead in the middle of August, kind of to prepare you. I laugh because that's all we can do. But when we know that the energy could be there or it's coming, we can just punch it in the face and get rid of it. You know? There's Miss Tammy. I'm here. I just woke up. Sorry. That's all right, my dear. How are you? How is everybody? Michelle, it's hot here. It's 103 right now. Go to the beach. You're close to the beach, Michelle. Head to the wall. My butt would be sitting on the beach watching the show. Watching the show. I'm excited, and I know Rue is in here too. It's going to be a surprise next week because I'm excited about this. Have you all ever heard of remote viewing? I don't know. Maybe some of you do remote viewing. I mean, I know I got a lot of clairvoyants in here that do remote viewing, where remote viewing is when you're given a number or just basically a scenario. You don't know anything about what you're going to remote view. So like if it's a true crime case, you can't really even say anything. You just say remote viewing on a case in Alabama, or a true crime in Alabama, or give the zip code. Give the zip code. And not even tell the remote viewer. The less a remote viewer knows about a particular case, the better it is. Well, we have a true crime case out there that everybody knows that a remote viewer did a map. Not really a map, but an area. It looks like the forensic map matches. We're still investigating, Rue and I are, but it looks like her map matches what the remote viewer came up with. So we're going to do some more deep diving. I'm going to do the slideshow. That's next week, and I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a good show. So make sure and tune in next week. It is wild energy. Everybody's saying the same thing. When aliens come in September, I'll request a beach. Are aliens coming in September? If they're coming, if we're going to get aliens, you guys, I would say it's August 19th. That's my date for the aliens. If anything's going to be coming out of the sky as aliens, August 19th. Maybe their friends will come in September, Lee. Maybe the alien friends. Keith knows about aliens and stuff. I don't. So if Keith pops in here, we'll ask him what aliens are supposed to be coming. It can't get any weirder. Beam me up too. They'll leave. If any aliens come into this country and they'll be like, oh, I'm out of here. They would be gone. They wouldn't stay. Aliens would not stay here. They wouldn't stay here. They'd be like, oh, this is too much of a train wreck. This has been a train wreck since 2020. I'm out of here. It costs too much money to go to McDonald's. They would leave. They would be gone. They'd be like, God, get me back to Pluto where it's cold. I can't deal with this crap anymore. These people fight too much. Their feelings get hurt. Can you imagine an alien landing in a parking lot and out comes a Karen after them? Could you imagine that? Like screaming at them? They'd be like, oh, no. They would leave. If they landed in a Walmart parking lot, gone. They would be gone. They would be gone. It'd be hilarious. Well, you guys, as you all know, I know, I could see it. They're like, I'm out of here. Get the hell out of here. These people are crazy. These people are nuts. Lee, several people have come to me about that. Oh, the aliens. I've never seen an alien. I've never even seen a UFO. I don't want them to come here. I can't. I'm not dealing with them. They're just gonna have to leave. The airport's down the road from here. I'm gonna just tell them, go take that ship and get the hell out of my face and go down the street. Go to the airport. Either that, or if you're coming here, just do something around the house. Take the garbage with you. Take this old nasty garbage can I have. But you know, that if you've noticed, true crime though has been kind of calm. In the beginning of the year, remember, it was like every single week we had a different case, different case, different case. Now it's kind of, you know, leveled out a little bit, which I'm very, very thrilled. I'm thrilled at that because we were getting a different case every week to look into. But tonight I've got this case that we've got tonight. And I know you guys probably, I'm sure some of you will remember this case. It was Chelsea Grimm that we had done, where Chelsea was in San Diego and she was headed. There's Miss Gina, made it. How are you, dear? Chelsea was going to a wedding. She was in San Diego and her family was headed up east, all the way to the coast, east. It's like Connecticut or New Hampshire, like all the way over. And she was going to drive with her pet dragon. It was the lizard, the real cute lizard. And she decided, she got to Phoenix from San Diego, got to Phoenix and called her parents and said, I can't drive that whole distance. Well, yeah, that would be a long distance. That would be like 4 or 5 days probably. And she's never been heard of again. You know, she was a photographer. I've got the timeline. Well, that was back when she first disappeared. That was in like October of 2023. So I covered it a couple months into her disappearance and mapped it and did a chart. Well, what I like to do, like when the true crime community, you know, the cases kind of slow down a tad, and I like it. I like to go back and do some reviews. And I did this with Chelsea's case, and it was very interesting of what had happened since her case officially, you know, officially broke around October, I believe. And you know, since then there are some searchers in the area that are still keeping up with it. There are some creators that still, you know, show it and show her poster. And a police report subsequently came out after I had looked at it forensic astrology wise. So I did another chart. So I put both of the maps together with the new information that we have. And I've got a great timeline. And if you really want to listen to a great true crime creator, his name is Brian, and it's LTL Media. There's so many great true crime creators out there. It just keeps expanding to really excellent. They do excellent work, and but he is really a good true crime show on YouTube. I watch him on YouTube, and he gave an excellent timeline. And I love creators that do timelines because as forensic astrologers, we have to go by a timeline. Without a timeline, we can't map it. We don't get accurate information. It's very technical because it's by the exact time, and we use math. It's pretty simple. There's no voodoo involved with forensic astrology. You see what you get. You get what you see. So let's take a look at it, get refreshed. And again, just remember next week, it's going to be a good show because of that remote viewing map. And I'm gonna do some info. I'm gonna look some stuff up on remote viewers this week. And I know some of you do remote viewing. So if you've got any kind of information you want to add that we can share with the group, on remote viewing, I think it sounds fascinating. So let's get started on Chelsea's case. And also, I added some new information on the assassination. I'm going to do another chart on that because I did get another new timestamp. I just didn't get a chance to map it and do it, but I'll do that as well as what's coming up in mid-August. So we got a good show tonight. It's a packed show. R.I.F.T Nation Network, Sunday through Sunday. We have a lot of shows now. It's exciting. This is Chelsea's missing poster. Now, they put October the 7th. However, I think they reported her missing October the 5th. October the 4th. There you go, October the 4th. But her phone had been turned off around September 29th, September 30th, when she was last heard from. Now, keep in mind, because I'd like to hear your thoughts on this as well. Keep in mind, the police have ruled out any foul play on this case. There's no foul play involved. There was also a private investigator on the case that felt there was no foul play as well. So, there's a lot of information out there on her. It's a good research. It's a sad case, though. Beautiful young girl. She was reported missing on October the 4th to Phoenix police. Her vehicle, a white Ford Escape, was located on October the 5th by hunters in the National Forest, Road 6th, northeast of Ash Fork, Arizona. May have been there as early as September the 30th. She was around that area for quite a few days. And I'm going to show you all the information that we've got on her case. And I'll tell you, it's a great timeline that was given by Brian. Brian worked very hard on this case. He was very hands-on. Now, there's Chelsea. She was an avid photographer, and she did a lot of selfies in her car. She was an excellent photographer. There is her white car down at the bottom left. Now, the police report is now coming out. There were no flat tires on the vehicle. So at first they said, oh, there were flat tires. Now they're saying there were not. So she left San Diego September 24th to head to the wedding to meet family. Took her pet dragon, lizard dragon thing. Ended up in Phoenix. Had a date with a friend on September 27th. She was supposed to meet that friend on September 28th, the following day. However, she canceled. In the evening of September 28th, a police officer, and there was body cam footage, got a suspicious call of somebody near a cemetery. He pulled up to her. She was crying, and she stated to the police officer, it was upsetting. I was taking pictures of the fallen heroes, the soldiers, and I'm just overwhelmed. And he told her to go to the Love's gas station. If she was going to camp or spend the night, she would be safe there. She never ended up at the Love's from all indications. She was spotted on September 30th by witnesses, and then her car was found, and she's never been seen or heard from again. Now, we did have, at the time we were looking at this in the beginning, she had gone into a hotel. We knew she did, but we didn't know what she said to the people at the hotel. Now we do. So we've got that information to bring out. And when they got to her car, the pet dragon, her phone, and belongings were gone. There's a picture of Chelsea with her parents. There's some of her photography work. And there she is. She's taking pictures, and there's the car, as you can see. She's a beautiful young girl. Now, Chelsea was experiencing some, I guess you would call it depression and some anxiety. So there could be, and maybe some mental issues going on as well with her case. That's the landscape of where she was in Arizona. Look at that landscape. Pretty barren, isn't it? Pretty barren. I wouldn't drive there by myself. Look at that. Get stuck there or have your car break down in the middle of the desert. Okay, this was the chart that I did originally, and I did it on the 28th because that was the last time that at the time that I did the map, it's the last time anybody had seen her. We weren't sure if there was even a perp. So it was like, it was it didn't match. This chart, and you can tell when you start to do forensic charts, they match or they don't, and you're going to know it. And I went ahead and I mapped it. As you can see, a line went to San Diego, where she was coming from, but it didn't tell us much else. I used Williams because that was the area that the police had pulled her over. We didn't know there were other sightings, and if there were, we didn't have a whole lot of info. The last sighting of Chelsea was September the 30th at 5:51 p.m. Pacific time. She took a selfie of herself. She was also a woodcutter was in the area and saw her. Said she was okay. Now, when I read you the timeline, it gets a little bit weird. Okay, so let me read the quick timeline. Okay, she left out of town, San Diego, 9/24. On 9/26, she arrived in Phoenix. She talked to her ex-boyfriend twice per the phone call with the ex-boyfriend that Brian had from LTL Media. The boyfriend was not with her. Now, on 9/27, she was still in Phoenix. She calls her parents that she's not going to make it to the wedding. She was going to be camping for a few days, then heading back to San Diego. She was supposed to meet up with a friend on September 28th, but canceled. Her cell phone pinged and was turned off on 9/28 or 9/29. Now, on 9/28 at 11 p.m. at a hotel, or 11 a.m., my bad, 11 a.m., she stopped into a hotel in a little town called Seligman, Arizona. Okay, this is a good clue. She stops in and tries to pay for the room with euros. Okay, she tells on the video that she wants to go off the grid. She's trying to get away from somebody that she doesn't want to be tracked, and did not want to use her credit card or her debit card because she didn't want to be traced. The owner of the hotel, his wife said she was okay, but there was something off about her. But that's what she said was going on. So there is video cam of her. This again is the terrain. Now JLR went out there in the winter, so there's snow. So you can see this rough terrain where she was found. Okay, that's where I mapped it. So let's go back to her chart. Okay, there were eyewitnesses that spotted her. Okay, so on 9/29, she was taking photos in the morning in the National Forest, 8 miles from where her SUV was found. The eyewitness saw her at 8:40, but the eyewitness says someone was in the car with her. At 11:30, the witness makes their final exit, and there was no SUV at that place. Again, they went by there at 8:40. Someone was still in the car with her. The police report states that they checked all the photos that she had taken around that time frame. There were no shadows. They feel there was nobody in the car with her. Okay? Again, this is not they said no, this is not a case of at all of it's a missing persons case. There was nothing nefarious in this case. Now, on September the 30th, a woodcutter on service route number 6, west of Williams, which is the little town, saw her and she was okay, taking pictures. Her last selfie on her phone was on September the 30th at 5:51 p.m. No other person in the car. The police could not find any of the subsequent photographs that she had where there were any shadows of people. No people at all whatsoever. So that's a little weird. The woodcutter said there was nobody with her. Okay, so I used the 5:51 p.m. thinking, okay, the police have ruled out anything weird, so I'm not going to even really look for a perp. But what struck me funny about that 5:51 p.m. is Neptune is, remember, she is signified by the ascendant over to the left. Neptune is sitting right there. Okay, what could that mean? And I don't want to say it, with the depression and the anxiety, but mental illness is Neptune. Sitting on the ascendant is not a positive when we're looking at charts. It's the physical body. Also, I don't like where Saturn is sitting. I don't like where Pluto is sitting. I mean, hidden, unexpected. However, there were communications that she had. I don't know if they can do that geotechnology thing when a phone is off. I don't know. Really look at her phone again. Could it be self-harm? Yes, it could. I mean, with anybody that just disappears. Were there issues with drugs? Apparently there were. The lizard was not in the vehicle. They claim that the car looked lived in. However, when other people looked at the car, they claimed no, it was not lived in looking. There's a lot of different stories with this, so I don't know quite what to think. As far as the chart goes, you got Mars up there in the 8th house. Sure, it could be something. But with Neptune on the ascendant, I honestly do not know. That would lean more to drugs and self-harm in Pisces with mental illness than it would anything nefarious. But then again, really, when you do self-harm, it's Uranus in the 8th house, and it can be Neptune in the 12th house. So I don't know. I don't know. So let me see okay, there's the terrain. Now, where does it map? Okay, so I mapped it where they found her car, in the area about where they found her car. If you remember, the last map ended up, before we had this timestamp, was in Williams. Look at this. What's so funny? because it was a couple of days off. If you look at the first map where I mapped it in Williams, which is the blue dot on the left, it heads right up to the area where her car was found. So I don't know. I would search in the area where the car was, and I would definitely look on that one line that is almost the same over to the west. So it's just kind of odd that that map turned out like that. And I see where, like, over by this area in this terrain. And it didn't go any more on the chart any more than 3 miles out. So I wouldn't look any more around. I would do a 3-mile perimeter if that's close to the car, which I could be really, really wrong with the location of the car, because when you get in these desert areas, it's very, very tough to get locations. So I'm going to go up through the chat, you guys, and see what your thoughts are on this. Let me see. Gina. Okay. Hi, Monica. How are you? Wonder who she didn't want tracking, her boyfriend or family. Not her family, apparently. And the ex-boyfriend says no, they were getting along great, but you just don't know. The ex-boyfriend, though, was still in San Diego. And apparently it checks out with the report, with the police report. Now the ex-boyfriend was kind of, I assume was, he was in San Diego. They know that. So he was not in the area when she disappeared. And did they check for DNA that might not have been hers in the car? That I don't know. You would have assumed, I would assume they would have processed the car as something criminal may have happened. One would think. One would think that, Linda, but what we think what happens and what actually happens are two different things. We've seen that too much. It's kind of a shame that whenever, and I think it's such a horrible stigma that if they hear, oh, she was depressing and there were mental things going on and possibly some drug issues, it's like, oh, okay, that's what it was. And they don't want to check any further. I'm not saying they didn't, because from what it sounds like, this is a really good law enforcement group on this case, but we've seen it many times. We've seen it more than we haven't. Was there a recent breakup from a boyfriend? Didn't want him to find her? We don't know. I would assume it was. She didn't want to be tracked. Usually young girls, they don't want to be tracked from, their man. We don't know. We just don't know. And what was funny in the report is when she got pulled over that night by a really nice policeman, they had the body cam on, where she was crying because I was taking pictures of, lost soldiers, and it upset me, and, issues. There were no pictures of any of those graves on her camera. So she was upset over something. So was it a breakup with the boyfriend? We don't know. We just don't know. It's very, very sad. I know. Why continue to take selfies and turn your phone on after saying she didn't want to use her credit? That's excellent point, Tammy. That's why you're a PI. It doesn't make any sense. If you want to go off the grid and you don't want anybody tracking down your credit card and go off the grid, why would you continue to take selfies? Why wouldn't? I would not. It's an excellent point, Tim. It doesn't really make much sense, does it? So her last selfie was at 5:51 p.m. And, you know, like you say, and how do people in some little podunk hotel in Seligman, Arizona, even track your credit card unless they're on the credit card with her, I assume, and they can see the purchases. Good point. VPN, I don't know. Very, very true. Could have been very, very possible. Very, or the elements too. The elements too. You're out in the desert. Rue, hey Gina. It just doesn't make a lot of, very suspicious of people and what they say. I am too, Linda, anymore. I am too. What I think is funny about this case, you guys, is the witnesses that saw a person in the passenger seat. That's what gets me. Now, if it was a highway and they're just driving by, but this is that old road, dirt road, you would know if someone was in the car. Who was in the car? That's what gets me, is that the witness saying, and they didn't say it once, they said it twice, that they saw her with somebody in the car. And Gina says, hello, Rue. It does, it's a exactly, Linda. I know. You guys, it's a real mystery, isn't it? So if anybody gets anything else, it's a mystery and a half. It makes no sense. Yes, he did. Yes, the body cam did record their conversation. You can find it's online, and you know, I don't want to play videos here that are on YouTube. I think we can get in trouble, but yes, it's online. He was very pleasant, very sweet. She seemed fine to me. She was upset. She was teary, but she certainly wasn't hysterical. Yes, he was very, 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 very sweet. See, I'm like that, Rue, too. Who was in the passenger seat? And in that chart, the sun is in the 7th house, too, which is an older man. I don't know. It is a mystery and a half. Cops. Oh, he seemed he was darling. He was absolutely darling. Yeah, he was very, very on his body cam. He was very, very sweet. He was very caring. He even asked her, you know, where are you going for the night? And told her to go up to the Loves, that it was very safe and she would be okay there if she wanted to sleep in her car. He was very caring and he was very professional and darling, very darling. So that I mean, but she seemed okay to me, but I'm not, you know, I'm not a psychiatrist. Crap, I can't. She was upset. So there's a couple of weird things. Not wanting to be on the grid, really not going to the wedding, but there was known drug involvement. Did she get high and just wander off into the desert and get lost? Was there somebody there? Who knows? That's the whole situation. Wonder what would have made that guy take notice of someone being in the passenger seat with her. He saw her, because if you look at these roads, Linda, I'm going to take a picture. I'll show you the roads that they were on. You would certainly take notice, because you wouldn't have much of a look at that. So look at these roads. So there's that road. Look at that road. So you would notice it's not like our roads. So you would notice, like, if somebody was there. See how that, I don't know if there's any more pictures of cars, but these are dirt roads. They're dirt roads. So you would notice out in the middle of Bufu, you know, nothing around. So that's the mystery of Chelsea Grimm. So, I'll put her missing poster on Rift Nation Network for you guys to share it. So if anybody does see her, maybe a possibility that she had an episode could be where she doesn't remember who she is. And maybe if we share her poster enough and her missing poster, we can get her face out there and somebody might say, oh, that's the girl that's missing. Those things do happen. Very strange. It's very, very bizarre. I know. Rue feels like it's foul play. Very well could be, Rue. That sun in the chart. Okay, here's an update on this, you guys. And I don't know how much anyone's following this, but I think it's interesting because it is true crime. Here's some pictures that we did not have last week when we talked about the assassination. There's a picture of the perp just wandering around. Oh, here I am. I don't look suspicious. I'm not sticking out like a sore thumb. What? It's crazy. So now we have learned perp is up on the rooftop on the building to the left. There were open windows. In the first arrow, that window is where a SWAT team, sniper team, was supposed to have been stationed. Nobody really knows what's going on because there's a lot of he said, she said going back and forth. So nobody really knows what's going on right now. If you look at the red and the circle, that's where the sniper team took this picture, that picture, because the sniper team felt he looked suspicious. Now, apparently, there was no communication with the Secret Service and the local PD. They had no way of communicating with one another. They had to do it via text. And Secret Service is saying that they had a meeting prior to this rally. The local police are saying the Secret Service didn't show up at the meeting. There is so much he said, she said. And what's interesting, and I wouldn't think a crime scene would be cleaned off within hours of what happened. But there we have a photo of the FBI power washing the top of the building. I don't understand. Was it processed that quickly? Now we're getting information that he had a Gab account, and one account says that he was a Trump person, and another account said he was a Biden person. So we don't know that either. They are finding social media. Crazy. Now, Senator Josh Hawley this week, I like him. The local PD stated that they had drones, and the Secret Service denied using their drones. Secret Service is now saying that they didn't have internet to run the drones. Okay. Again, there's our two circles that showed where one of the devices from his house showed up. That's Washington, D.C., the FBI Secret Service building. Okay, there again are pictures up at the roof. Sniper Team 2, I'll show you where it was. Okay, now they could have looked out the window and looked over to the left and seen him. These are pictures that were just released. It's a video. It's on social media. He literally, he's circled as the red dot. Look how close he is to the crowd and to Trump, actually. He's literally running. I'm not kidding. He's running across the top of that roof. You can see him running. That's how close. It's kind of funny that I thought it was pretty amazing that he was that far away. He was that close, I mean. It's mind-boggling how close he was. You can pull this up on social media, and he is literally, you can see him running. He's just scampering all over the building, and nobody saw that. How would you not see that? It's crazy. There he is, and he's just up there running around, flapping around in the breeze. Not just, it's mind-boggling to me. Crazy. And the last thing I wanted to show you guys, upcoming August 19th. If you see those two red, they look like little triangles. Those are called T-squares. We have two of them forming. So around the 12th or 13th of August till about the 22nd, 23rd, you guys, I just want people to be aware of their surroundings. I'm not putting out fear, but I'm just putting out a little bit of a bell, an alarm bell. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't go in crowds. Just be aware of what's going on around you. Don't walk around with your face in your phone like I do. You know what I mean? I do. So I do that a lot. But during this time frame, this is very volatile energy in astrology, to just be on the lookout. It can be unexpected, it can be chaotic, and it's the same kind of energy, only it's a little bit more potent than what was around Trump at the time of the assassination attempt. So just be careful out there. Know your surroundings. Don't park your car in a dark place. Park your car by lights. Lock your car. Know what's around you. Just be very, very aware of your surroundings. Okay, here we go. Now, the one sniper nest, the spotter went outside to look for him, and his key fob couldn't let him back in. Right. He had to leave his post, apparently. The one snipers that we do see a lot of the photos of the guys like with the ball caps on, a tree was blocking them. That was not the snipers. It's craziness. It's crazy right now. They're covering someone's assets, but pay close attention to who was there and look at your surroundings. Got to go. Love y'all. We love you too, Kathy. You be careful too, honey. You take care. We love you too. And Sir Keith. Here's Sir Keith weighing in. Welcome in, Keith. There'll be another attempt before November. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Here's what anybody put some stuff in the chat. Inside job, had 3 overseas bank accounts. Who helped him? Always follow the money. Even in true crime stories, even in our true crime stories, we follow the money. We know to do that, and we're just like YouTube Wednesday night true crimers. Isn't that the truth? Since when does the FBI clean up? I don't know, Lee. They don't. Since when do they power wash anything? I know. It's crazy. It's all craziness, you guys. So be careful next couple weeks. And don't forget the transit class that I've got going on is going to be August 25th. It's in conjunction with Miss Donna at Silver Wolf Treasures and Gifts. That's on Sunday, August 25th. Black Moon Lilith, Chiron, and transits. What I was showing you is what's called transits, that class. And then we have the other. August 24th will be what we call the series number 1 class, the 101 class. That's beginning astrology, where you learn how to interpret a natal chart. We learn about the planets. We learn about aspects. We learn about houses. It's a basic astrology class. That will be on the day before. Now, if you're signed up for the transit class and you want to check out and refresh, come on into that class as well. Okay, you guys, so remember next week we will have the remote viewing map, and we got the remote viewing map that looks like it's matching up to the forensic astrology that Rue and I are looking at. We're so excited. So, oh, that's so sweet, Gina. I'm so glad. Gina's excited about the transit class. So next week, we're going to talk about remote viewing. We've got a remote viewing drawing on a pretty famous case that we've all been watching. So we're going to bring that to you next week. And it looks like preliminarily, is that a word? Preliminary. The map from the astrology is going to match up with the remote viewer. Looks like some of the lines are going to hit where the remote viewer feels that this boy is. So it's going to be a good show next week. We're going to get some info on remote viewing. And I think that would be fun to try to do sometime. I know. Exciting things are coming. So you guys have a great week ahead. Be safe. Be careful. Start paying attention to your surroundings about August 9th, 10th or 11th. You'll be good. It starts amping up about the 18th, 19th, but doesn't hurt to pay attention because it's a weird time right now. We got weird stuff going on. So be safe, be careful, get the kiddos ready for school. And next week, we're going to have a good show. Okay, Rue. Okay, Rue, you're going to have to tell us about remote viewing because I would love for all of us to try remote viewing. That would be neat to take a cold case and everybody and I could say, okay, this is a case and give you the zip code and everybody practice remote viewing it. And then the next week come back and show our pictures. That would be kind of cool. See if we could remote view it. Remote viewing is cool. So, all right, everybody, have a great week. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one. Have a great weekend and enjoy. So thanks for tuning in, you guys, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. It's gonna be a good show. So thanks again, you guys. Let me try to find everything. Okay, have a great week. Thank you. Good night.